This video is brought to you by Loot Crate. Head today to lootcrate.com/reviewtechusa and enter the code RTU to save 10% on any subscription plan. Skip it up and that up. So a supposed ex-Ubisoft employee went to the Assassin's Creed subreddit and he discussed what it was like to work for Ubisoft, work for the company. And he didn't have too many positive things to say. Actually, to be honest with you, he had nothing positive to say. Everything he had to say about Ubisoft was very negative. Now, the article I have below in the description highlights a couple things, but I'm actually going to read everything this person wrote in the Assassin's Creed subreddit because I think all of it is really interesting and really important. So here we go. No, I didn't work on Unity, this ex-Ubisoft dev said. I really have to say this. We were struggling under normal load. AAA games are hard to develop, and then instead of 4 odd years between releases, where we worked 50 to 70 hour weeks, anything above 37 hours is unpaid, you decided we should release every year. And not actually possible unless you hire guys for 40K in pounds, that's UK money, for example, but make them work 55-hour work weeks. I've seen guys work for below minimum wage if you take overtime into account, and they're producers. I've seen guys shamed for leaving at 5 p.m. When I say guys, I mean one guy. Now, how I wish I was him as he boldly walked out in his laser-proof armor every day, defending him from the death stares from people who would be staying till 11. I've seen guys shamefacedly take 2 days paternity leave in the UK and spend months between the times where they'd see their babies with their eyes actually open. I was in a meeting personally with Yves Guillemot, who said that he doesn't care about PC gamers because, and I quote, 90% are pirates anyway, which if that is true, Yves, fuck you. That's coming from me. That's after a direct question from a well-respected, well-paid programmer back in the late 2000s asking, why are our PC ports fucking shit? So we outsourced it all to Eastern Europe. They've never even seen it on a console. So PC Master Race, guys, that's why. We had to beg to have our deadline extended or we would release a horrible broken mess. But this is normal. Either it all works or nothing. Any paid programmer can tell you that. Anyway, our game was released slightly delayed by 1.5 years or so. That's like 2 quarters and won lots of rewards. But we had a lot of convincing to do for Ubisoft to allow us to miss that fiscal deadline because all games are products subject to an Excel spreadsheet. To miss our deadline, we had to lose a few random workers, 19 I think, because 20 or something specific comes under mass redundancy, which comes under different laws in the UK. Yes, we can release a shit buggy game or a good one a few months later, but we have to figure out which is better for our fiscal forecast because each game from conception already has a release date and expected revenue for that fiscal period. My beloved Unity Q&A guys, I know, you know every bug appearing online like the back of your hand and you have to read comments like, didn't anyone in QA pick this up? Even though you've been looking for a new job for months because it's so bad. We to all the commenters out there, it's out because Q&A gets sacked at the end of the project anyway, but that's normal. I went from a DevOps to QA in non-games and it's literally half the work for twice the pay. I still own a C64, CPC 464, and 3 flavors of Spectrum among my old consoles. I will never even look at a games job again. I hate Ubisoft for ruining my dream, but I don't blame the devs. Montreal are hurting more than us fans. P.S. Yves Guillemot, sue me if you want to. I don't care. You're a cunt. That's the guy who wrote this, not me. I have a truck driver mouth, but I wouldn't even say that word. I think this guy must be the true leader of the exposed Donati because he really exposed Ubisoft. Is this guy actually an ex-Ubisoft employee? No one knows. Maybe he's completely full of shit and he was just drunk and felt like typing something in the Assassin's Creed subreddit and he's just some random dude who wanted to troll. But I've heard other companies like EA, and they pull the same shit with their employees where basically it becomes slave labor. You literally never go home and you live behind a computer punching in code and developing the games for months on end. You don't see your family. You don't see your friends. You literally live at whatever development company you work for. And it really does take the passion out of making games. People have told me that. You read about it, you read articles about ex-developers who say they just got fed up and sick with it because it was just a nightmare. And what I think is going to happen if this keeps up, because who the fuck is going to want to go, I don't care how passionate are you about you want to be a game developer and how passionate you are. Imagine hearing all these horror stories. You're going to be turned off. I don't care how obsessed you are with developing games. If you hear you're disrespected like this and you're treated like nothing more than a number, you're going to say, fuck you. I'm not working for this AAA company. Screw you. I'll go do something independent. And that's what I think is going to happen. It's almost like what's happening in the music industry. Now, I saw this article probably about a month ago, so maybe things change. I know Taylor Swift's album came out and that was a big release, but up to like about a month ago, do you realize in the music industry, there hasn't been one artist that's got a platinum plaque on their wall? That's the first time ever I believe that's happened. There hasn't been an artist that sold 1 million records yet in 2014. At least, like I said, until Taylor Swift released her album. Maybe that's changed. But that's still a huge thing, because there was a time that the music industry, you had to be a slave to the mainstream music industry to get your record heard. Now those times are changing. You could sit in front of your computer at home, have a decent mic like the one I have the right audio production software. You don't even need to have a keyboard with built-in sounds or a synthesizer or a workstation. You could get plugins for free on your computer that act as a keyboard, and you just get a keyboard controller, and you can make a top quality, high quality album from home that sounds like you went to the Hit Factory in Manhattan. And I have a feeling, if this keeps up in the industry, and because AAA games are costing more and more to develop, because the hardware is more, there's more powerful hardware. With more powerful hardware, it takes more time to do the artwork for the games. It takes really more expansive engines. It's a lot more development time. I have a feeling you're going to see a lot of devs do like what Ken Levine did from Irrational Games and just say, even though BioShock Infinite did well, just say, fuck it, I'm done. I'm doing smaller indie projects. And I have a lot of feeling you're going to see a lot of developers and a lot of programmers and stuff from these big companies say, fuck you, I'm done. I want to see my family. I want to see my friends. Yes, I'm passionate about gaming, but I'm not willing to sell my soul for. I'm going to do an independent project where I don't have to worry about fiscal quarters and deadlines, so on and so forth. And you know what? If this is the bullshit that goes on, I hope it does happen. And I hope a lot of these companies like Ubisoft implode because of it. If that means the industry goes through like a flux period where we don't have any big games for like a couple years and we just have a bunch of indie games, so be it. I want to see people have lives and be able to enjoy their family and live a normal, happy, healthy life than be slaves to coding a game for my fat ass to play during the holiday season. It's not fair. People need to live. They're not machines. All right, folks, this is Rich of Review Tech USA. Make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for supporting my channel. Have a good one.